Hey everybody, I'm back! And no, this isn't another book review slash talk video. Once I finish reading one of the new books I have, I will keep you posted on that. I want to talk about, since it is Halloween month, and it's all spooky things, I am going to talk to you about something that happened to me on Halloween back in 2009. So, let's get into it, shall we? So, at the time, I was in my first full month of high school. High school, that's spooky enough, am I right? And so I wanted to go trick-or-treating, but I didn't want to go by myself, and I didn't really, at the time, all my other friends were busy doing their own things on Halloween, and that was what I thought was my last year going trick-or-treating, and I was 15 at the time, and I know what y'all are thinking, you probably look 15, but no, if you watch my birthday video, I am actually 24, so anyways, I talked to my nephew and I was like, hey, can I go trick-or-treating with you? And he says, sure. So my dad picks me up from Edmonton and drives me to Sherwood Park, then drops me off at my nephew's with, like, what I was gonna be asked. And then I thought that it would just be me and my nephew. I was wrong. So I go downstairs into the basement with, like, my bag that had all the stuff I was gonna wear. And I saw that he had 4 of his friends over, and I'm like, great. It's gonna be me, the only thing with estrogen running through my veins, with a bunch of prepubescent boys. Now, they were 10, 11 at the time, and like I said, I was 15. Excuse me. And we were talking, and then I was going upstairs because my the sister-in-law called me and asked me for my opinion on her outfit for Halloween because my brother and sister-in-law were going to a Halloween party. And so I went back downstairs after I gave my opinion. Then I grabbed my stuff, went to change, and then I went upstairs to go do my makeup. I went as an undead schoolgirl. From grade 7 to 9, I went to an all-girls school. And the all-girls school I went to was June Forest Leadership Academy, and no, this isn't a promo for their school, even though, I have mixed feelings about going to an all-girls school. And that's a video for another day, possibly. So, anyways, I go back downstairs and I can't remember what my nephew and his friends were, so 2 of his friends whose names I can't remember. I can't remember any of his friends' names, really. So, like, they run off. We'll just call those 2 Thing 1 and Thing 2, because I can't remember their names. And they're yelling trick or treat. And my nephew and his 2 other friends stay back as we're all listening to my sister-in-law saying, niece is in charge, you listen to her. So, my sister-in-law turns and goes back in the house. We go to the house next door, and we get our candy, and then the other 2 friends join Thing 1 and Thing 2. And my nephew was walking beside me the entire night. And then the other 2 friends come back, and I can still hear Thing 1 and Thing 2 yelling trick or treat. And so the night's winding down, and then there are a few feet in front of us, and I look because the other 2 wanted to go. Well, my nephew and his 2 friends wanted to go to someone else's house, so I call ahead to the 2 boys, and I said, "We're going to this house," and I'm crossing the lawn, and I'm looking over at them as I'm walking. I'm like, okay, whatever. They'll turn around and notice that we're not there and we're at the house, and they'll stop and wait for us, or they'll go back to my brother's house. So we get our candy, head back, and I turn around and I notice they're not standing there. I'm like, okay, before I start panicking, they're probably at your brother's house. So we walk, knock on the door, we say trick or treat. My brother opens the door, closes it, opens it again. My nephew and I say, have you seen these 2? And he looks at me, and then at my nephew, and he goes, no. And I was like, oh, like, crap, I just lost 2 kids on Halloween. And I was like, we were just up the road, and I don't know where they went. And so he's like, okay, it's okay, I'll go look for them. Go inside, and we all go downstairs, and then I hear my name get called, and then I go back upstairs, and then both my brother and sister-in-law were standing. And then they're like, tell us what happened. And I said, okay, we went to one house, and I called out to them and said, we're going to this house. I looked at them as I was walking up to the house, thinking they were going to stop and wait for us. So when I turned back around, they weren't there, and I thought they came here. And then my brother and I go to look for them, and like, it was right around here that they disappeared. And my brother had to call the boys' parents. One of the boys, I love how I stopped calling them Thing 1 and Thing 2. They might actually end up watching this. And one of the boys, he lost his mom, so his dad could come and look for them, but the other one was helping take care of the newborn, of his newborn baby, so he couldn't come out. And so my brother and I are looking around, driving around, trying to find these two, and then my brother stops because there's a car passing by, and he's like, have you seen these two boys? They were trick-or-treating with my sister, and we can't find them. And I was waiting for him, like, I seriously swear I was just being responsible. And I'm freaking out, and I'm like, I hope we find them, because I want to scream at them and yell at them and tell them how much you scared me. And then we get home, I go downstairs, and I think a few minutes later, I get called back upstairs. And my sister-in-law says they were found a block away, and they said you could tell them to go ahead. And I said, no, I never said that. And they could tell that I was angry because of the way I said it. And they're like, we believe you. And then I think they called back and talked to them. I go back downstairs. I'm relieved that they were found by the dad and not by some random creep that wanted to kidnap them on Halloween. So I go downstairs and then I say, they were found, thankfully. I turn to look at my nephew. I think I said this, at least I think I did. I said, if that hadn't been you, I would have lost it on you. Because, excuse me. Excuse me, pardon me, that's so attractive. At least I think I turned and said that to him, or like we looked at each other. And I think he knew what I was thinking. So we checked our candy, because, you know, that's what you have to do, especially nowadays. With all the crap that's going on. I'll leave that at that. And then I'm lying on, like, they had a couch in the basement and a TV. So my nephew and his two friends are playing a video game. I don't know what game they were playing. My nephew's two friends were sitting on the floor. I at least think one was sitting on the floor and the other was sitting on a chair. And I'm, like, you know when you're lying on a couch and you have your knees up? And that's how I had my legs up. And then my nephew was leaning against my legs. His one friend says, you're lucky you're leaning against the legs of a woman. I wanted to look at him and say, dude, you're too young for me. And even if you were close, even though he was 4 years younger than me, I was like, I'm thinking to myself, even, like, dude, two things. One, you're too young for me. And two, even if you weren't too young for me, you're one of my nephew's friends. So I can't really do anything. And I was so mad that I lost two kids on Halloween, and I was, like, automatically thinking the worst. Like, I thought they got kidnapped and killed. And I'm like, oh god, somebody help me. But yeah, that's my story of what happened to me on Halloween a few years ago. And then, well, I did go trick-or-treating back in 2017. At least I think I went trick-or-treating back in No, I did go trick-or-treating last year with a friend of mine. And then, back in 2016, I did go trick-or-treating. And then last year was, like, my last year. So, last year and the year before, I went as a fallen angel. Because I got my costume at Hot Topic. If none of you shop at Hot Topic, I suggest you do. And the reason, like, I never really thought of going as a fallen angel. And the whole reason behind that is because I am a part of the BVB Army. I love them. They are amazing. And if you don't listen to them, you should, because they're just, like I said, amazing. And they actually, for all of you who don't listen to them, they have a song on their album Set the World on Fire called Fallen Angel. And, crap, I can't even remember if it's Fallen Angel or Fallen Angels. And so, it's one of the two. No, it is Fallen Angels. My bad. Yeah, I just am a fan. But I am, actually. I just blanked a little bit. So anyways, and then that's where I got the idea was from the song. So, but back in 2016, I didn't, like, I had the wings and the halo. I didn't, like, dress up fully, and I quickly did my makeup. I just wore my work pants and a hoodie over top, and then I went. And there's one house I was going to. There was this mentally challenged woman. in a wheelchair. And she was either with her parents or her guardians. Like, I don't know, like, if the people that were with her were family or just friends helping her. And she sees me walking up and she starts she doesn't start waving, she starts like doing the halo symbol around her head. And she's smiling like really big because apparently I made her night. At least I hope I did. And the one lady was with her, says, "Oh, see, she's beautiful." No, before that I was like, "Oh, you look really pretty in your costume." I'm being nice to her because I am most of the time to people. Like, not I am nice to people with mental with disabilities, because there's still people, whether and I look I don't see the disability itself, I see the person behind it. So anyways, and then the lady says, "Tell her she looks pretty." And the lady was like doing hand symbols, like, and I knew what she was, I pretty much got the gist of what she was saying, and I was like, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry." And I walked away after I got my candy, and then I went home like a little bit later. And then last year I went trick-or-treating with a friend, and again I was a fallen angel, but this time I actually wore a dress. I wore a black dress with black leggings, and black boots, black knee-high boots, and my friend did my makeup as Ashley Purdy, and oh my god, I looked bad. Like, I literally looked bad. Like, if for all of you who know Black Veil Brides, you know, like, when they did the war paint, and I had my friend kind of imitate the war paint of Ashley Purdy. But yeah. So that's my stories of Halloween. Oh wait, no, I actually have one more story. And this happened when I was like a real little kid. Really little kid. And one year, my dad, myself, his friend, and her daughters, I'm also friends with her and her daughters, we all went trick-or-treating together in Sherwood Park Mall. And I can't remember what my two friends dressed up as, but I dressed up as, I was Tickle Me Elmo. And I still do love Elmo, I'm not denying that I don't. And we're walking around, and for I still remember this, but there was this guy in a clothing store. He was super, super creepy. And he's like, "Come here, let me tickle you." And he's doing his hands like this, like doing the squeezing thing. I'm like, "No." He's like, "Come on." I'm like, "No." And I'm moving closer to my dad, and I'm like scared because I'm a little kid, and I know that little kids are, like, I didn't know if this guy was a creep or not, like, in that sense. I don't want to trigger anybody with that. So yeah, that was like a kind of a creepy experience with a guy in a clothing store. And I'm like, no. So, sorry if you guys felt offended by my last story. I didn't mean for you guys to be offended. Please don't report this video. I love all of you guys. Have a good night, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. And I hope you have a spectacular Halloween. Bye!